to DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for poverty, where on this channel, our vision is to empower the impoverished by helping you find financial freedom through crypto assets. Please subscribe and leave a comment and a thumbs up.
Hey guys, welcome back to DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for poverty. So today, the biggest financial mistake of your life that you are more than likely making, and why you probably come to DeFi in the first place. So this is a quote from Tony Robbins, and it really resonated with me. I heard him say it a while ago, but wanted to bring it back up. And it's, you're already a financial trader. You might not think of it in just this way, but if you work for a living, you're trading your time for money. Frankly, it's just about the worst trade you can make. Why? You can always get more money, but you can't get more time. Man, when I heard him put it that way, like, you hear the quote, time is money, but when he says that you're a financial trader and you're trading like the most valuable asset for something that is actually limitless in supply, when you start to focus on value and what you can add, then it clearly shows you that, yeah, you are making definitely one of the worst trades of your life. And then there's another quote from good old Warren Buffett: if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So essentially the same thing, trading time for money, and then you're just going to end up with no time, which means you're dead, right? When you run out of time, you're dead. And that led me to this Forbes article that had another way to explain it. And if this doesn't really hit you in the gut, then yeah, it's hopefully becomes a wake-up call. But it's this: trading time for money. Money is something we choose to trade our time for, except the authors don't call it time, they call it life energy. Our life energy is our allotment of time here on earth, the hours of precious life available to us. When we go to our jobs, we are trading our life energy for money. The truth, while simple, is profound. So man, that is a true wake-up call. And I mentioned in other videos where there's statistics of people who are not happy with their job and this, that, and the other. So when you really think about that, like, yeah, your life energy, like literally the designated amount of energy you have in this body, in this space. Nobody knows when it's going to run out, but if all things go well, then it will go till the end of the average human life expectancy, somewhere around that location, right? And if during that limited time you have allocated on this earth, you are giving it away to something that is not fulfilling, or something that doesn't give you something more in return, i.e. a way to get more time back, then holy hell, like, yeah, that's a wake-up call for sure. So in a very real way, time is money. For most of us to be happy, we have find a balance between trading our time for money and at times trading money for time. I had this epiphany when I used to work in IT, and I used to cut my yard on the weekends, and I had like a little over a half-acre yard, and eventually I got a riding lawnmower, so it would save me more time to cut my yard. Then I started doing the math. I was like, wait a minute, it's about 2.5 hours for me to cut, weed eat, and all this stuff on my yard. And while I liked to do it sometimes, I was like, I'd much rather spend my time doing something else. So I ran the numbers and said, you know what, I'm going to pay somebody else to do this. So in essence, I was trading money for time, because with that time that I had, I went and did things I enjoyed, which was typically playing paintball on Saturdays. So I would much rather be out playing paintball Saturday mornings with friends than spending 2.5 hours cutting my yard. And that was, priceless in regards to getting that back. So you guys should all know where this is going in regards to, the projects that we're in. But I found this other article, right? And it talks about how, like, the richest people in the world, if they don't invest, this is Tony Robbins, The Money Machine That Works While You Sleep, talks about some of the richest people in the world who, if they don't invest, end up losing their money. And I just lost my highlights. But there's this article here talking about Mayweather and how much money he was making. If you're not familiar with Mayweather, he's could be by now one of the richest boxers to ever box in professional boxing. Mike Tyson had the most money, but he went bankrupt. And this was talking about how Mayweather is headed down that path. He is reported to spend so recklessly he's known to carry around a backpack filled with $1 million in cash just in case he needs to make an emergency donation to Louis Vuitton. And 50 Cent, who used to be his business partner on some things, summed up the boxer's financial strategy as it's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight. Fight, get the money, spend the money, fight. So many people do this exact same thing with their jobs. Work, spend money, work, right? And Tony in this article is basically saying if people making millions can't seem to get out of that loop of trading time for money, then how much more likely do you think you're going to be if you don't create a strategy? And the strategy he talks about is obviously investing and getting into the S&P 500 stocks, bonds, mutual funds, all this other kind of stuff. Definitely traditional. But most of us, we are here in the crypto space. So the passive income ideas or availability in here is a little different than traditional, but it still plays the same way. It's getting your money to work for you and kind of time in the market versus timing the market. And then there's this quote or this article that he mentions about Theodore Johnson. So he's a guy that worked for UPS, never made more than $14,000 during the 1950s, but yet he retired with more than $70 million. And it was because he took 20% of his money and put it into an investment account. And I think he was just putting it into the index funds. It was a safe investment because, you know, during the 1950s and all the way for another 40 years, stocks obviously continued to appreciate at like, you know, roughly 5% per year, 7% per year, whatever it was. But the point was, is he was able to take, you know, $3,000 a year and in 40 years, 50 years, have $70 million. So he clearly made his money work for him and buy him more time, because if he didn't want it to work, he sure didn't have to. And I think he gave away like half of this to like education funds and stuff like that. So the whole point of this that I wanted to showcase, and I mentioned this before, is trying to find out, you know, what is that way to get more time out of your money and make your money work for you. And what I started showing you guys on my channel is how I look at it from an hourly wage, because that's the easiest way to wrap my head around it. From growing up in a traditional trading time for money environment, especially, like I said, working menial jobs when I was younger, before you get into salary, it's literally how much you get paid per hour, and that's kind of how you determine your lifestyle, if you will. But essentially, it's what you are saying you're worth to a company, or more so what a company thinks you're worth to them. So if they only want to give you $7 an hour, they think you're only worth $7 an hour because they can find somebody else to do it if you won't. So essentially, like that other article said, you're trading your life energy and letting someone else dictate what you are worth to them, and then you kind of decide, yes, I agree, and you sign the dotted line, and you all of a sudden get a salary. So getting into the Forex Shark ecosystem and just DeFi and passive income plays in general is finding a way to start getting money passively, especially while you sleep. Like the Warren Buffett quote says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. So that's why I like looking at this hourly wage for me, because it's easier for me to all of a sudden take that into consideration to like a 40-hour work week, even if I'm not actually working in this. And something fun to do and push this a little more forward, it comes from the Tim Ferriss 4-Hour Work Week. So if you go to tim.blog expense calculator, so the 4-Hour Work Week is an old book by Tim Ferriss, probably one of the first lifestyle biohackers, if you will, that came into the space. And you can go through this calculator and basically put up your expenses, and then at the bottom it'll calculate what your monthly income is and what your dreamline buffer is. And it all comes from like creating this lifestyle that you could live off of, and then trying to find a way to create this passive income. So I threw in some of the numbers for me out here in Cambodia. Obviously it's much cheaper than where you guys are if you're in the Western locations. But the point is deciding, do you need to stay where you are? What does your rich life look like? You know, start researching other areas and start creating this ideal life for yourself right now. Like maybe you are tied down to a 9-to-5 job and it pays the bills, but do you need that? What does it take to uproot that and go somewhere else. I'm not saying come to Cambodia. I'm just saying start thinking outside your box and look at options that are available, and see what that ideal lifestyle is for you. Everybody's ideal lifestyle is going to be different, but because of that, I wanted to pull up again the stats in Cambodia, because that's where I am, and I didn't pick this because of the passive income lifestyle itself. I picked it just to get away from the grind and kind of start an entrepreneurial business venture. But you can see some of the stats here that says that Cambodia ranks 101st out of 106 countries in the world with an average of $212 a month. And I've told you guys that 60% of the population makes less than $10 a day, so this falls into that. They talk about you can find meals for $1 and even better meals for $3. This is true. There are some really cheap meals for sure. They say the higher figures, $290 a month, and then they go into the actual wages of different jobs, like what some of the more wealthy, I guess, would make with less than menial jobs, more of the middle class, if you will. They can make top management CEO positions up to $1,200 a month. Average salaries in the top 4 sectors of engineers, technical, and department heads is $710 a month. Banking, telecommunications, law, $600 a month. So they just show you this chart, right? So looking at this, if this is what like the top people make, then obviously the living, in order to live here, it's clearly a lot cheaper, right? So that was another reason when I was doing my searching. It's like, okay, I saw this, and then an easy in was U.S. or English teachers moving, especially in Southeast Asia. So there's a lot of opportunities for English teachers to teach abroad, and typically they'll make around $800 to $1,200 a month, depending on where you go. So that is basically a good $10 a day is what $10 an hour, sorry, is the average wage, because that comes out to $400 a week, and then $1,200 a month. And there's no real taxes and any of that as well. So the reason I bring that up is because, again, showing you that what the degreed business positions require, and then what literally somebody can come here and just with coming from an English background, like they can make what other people make and had to work their way up. And with the cost of living, you can actually live pretty well. So like I'm showing you in this chart when I ran the numbers, and this is aggressive, $1,231 a month. And again, that can be made from passive income right now from my drip faucet. But in my garden is actually where I really want it to come from. So that's my goal, is to get this to something more sustainable that I can just kind of take a little bit from. And hourly in the garden now, I think I'm up to that's my other garden. I need the bigger garden. Oh, that is the bigger garden, so not as much. I thought it was higher than this. It is not. This isn't updated. That can't be right. Yeah, this is a small garden. It didn't change. Let's click this again. There we go. I was about to say that's definitely not going to pay the bills. All right, let's see. There we go. That's no, that's still the same. Oh, we're on the faucet. Guys should have told me that. That is clearly why that didn't show up. Here we go. So these are the numbers I want to look at. So we want to find the hourly for this one. It's $5 an hour. So I want this to get up to 10, which basically means I need to double my current plants to 100,000. That's at the current drip price. But either way, since this is a leverage play, that can be, very lucrative or worthwhile. So again, the point of this is to expand your horizons, try to find something else out there, and start looking outside your existing bubble and see what you can do. And I brought this up because this is very interesting as well. This is a cool site from Business Insider. So basically, if you want to be in the top 50% or 10%, they tell you what your net worth should be. So depending on your age, they give you higher amounts. So most people in DeFi are under the age of 40. So if you're making more than 50 grand, or if you have a net worth of 50 grand, then you're in the top 50% globally. If you have essentially 10x of that, you're in the top 10%. And DeFi, passive income, can definitely get you there. If you look at any of the whales that have exited the garden in the drip in the last year, they made a lot more than this. And the max, I think, is just at $1 million. Yeah, if you're at 46 to 50, if you're making basically 1.1 million, or your net worth is 1.2 million. Okay, 2 million. Yeah, then it goes down. So 2 million, if you actually had that, you are in the top 10% of the world, regardless of age. So that is insane, just like some numbers to shoot for. So if you focus on this passive income stream, and most importantly, focus on educating yourself in the space, because that is the best investment that you can get, then you can find projects that you believe in, and you can start working towards this rich life. And you can get there faster if you actually cut the red tape of things you think you need, specifically if you're in Western areas with jobs and things of that nature that you really don't need, paying for things that you don't fulfill you. I think Gary Vee said most people have jobs they don't want and buy things they don't need to impress people that they don't like, basically. So that's an eye-opener, man, for sure, when you think about time, again, being this life force that you're trading for this asset, and then usually, not asset, trading for money, and then buying liabilities to impress people that don't give two shits about you. So keep that perspective in mind and start making way to improve your overall quality of life, and invest in self-development and ways to get more time and spend that time doing things you actually love. And that could mean, like I said, moving away from whatever Western country you're living in and finding a place that you can save and live more freely, and therefore save more money getting towards these goals, if that's a goal. I don't know what your goal is, but yeah, you'd be surprised how easy it is to get there once you stop, paying $3,000 a month for a house, or what was I paying a year? I was paying probably like $15,000 a year in property taxes. Like, for what? Why? And technically it's not even yours, right? So the property still belongs to the government. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So like and subscribe, help us get 2,000 subscribers, almost there. Participate in the No Sell August campaign, and Scavenger Hunt is still in progress. That will be launched starting in September, after we do the 50 drip giveaway for the No Sell August, and then we'll have the Scavenger Hunt words and stuff like that. I think we've got about $50 to $75 donated to the Scavenger wallet. So if you want to do that, the link is in the description, or the wallet address in the description. All right, guys, until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.